was always destined for me.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. I want you to really go in a little bit deeper and share with everyone what is the title of your talk, and really kind of like what are the key points that you will be leaving people with or sharing with them.
The title is There's an App for That. And it came to me one day, actually, while sitting at work. And we know that in corporate America, where there's always apps, and they're always creating new apps. And the apps are to improve, and it's to simplify the things that we do. And so as I was sitting there and I'm in a meeting and we're discussing these improvements, and it dawned on me that there's an app for you, for your life. And an app is just simply an application. And it's just like, we tend to get stuck in things. And, sometimes we make things much greater than what they are.
Yes,
and
do.
So a lot of times we tend to go deeper in a dark place that the light is right there. Only thing we have to do is reach up, turn on the switch, and the light comes on.
Yes.
So for me, there's an app for that. It's that no matter where I'm at, I'm a survivor. And I share with people that I overcame the things that I was abused as a child, fondled by people that, that I thought loved me, cared for me. And it was something that I held on to for so many years. And it was just like, I was just mentally, I was just in prison. And, and it was just like, I couldn't go to my parents because I knew my parents loved me. And it was just like, I was stuck in a place whereas I want to tell, but then, but my heart was like, it was protecting the person or the people. And it didn't make sense. But the older that I got, and when I began to realize who I really am and know that I am an overcomer and know that I'm not a victim, no matter what I've been through, and, and it all began to come together. There's an app for that. And it's just that no matter what we go through in life, we have to find the beauty in all of it, because there's a lesson to be gained. There's purpose in everything that we go through. And sometimes we think it's about us, but it's not about us, because God already know the way that he constructed us. Absolutely. And so I may be strong enough to come out of that, and someone else may not be. So I know God chose me to be the voice for those that are voiceless. Well, and to be that person, to mend those things. And the one thing, where there's an app for that, one thing comes to mind, and it reminds me that broken crayons still color. What? That no matter how many pieces the crayons are broken into, it doesn't lose the purpose. It's still able to color, no matter how broken it is. So there's an app for that. We don't have to stay in that broken
Coach Melody now. You dropping some bombs on here, right? And listen, so if you all want to hear more about broken crayons, right, that all of these pieces, how they come together, and how there's an app for this. Think about it. We have these phones that we carry around everywhere. Every time we need something, guess what we do now? We click on an app. She's telling y'all there is an app for everything that's going on. So come back, listen in to this keynote. Y'all saw I was engaged with her story, right? So if you want to hear the end of this story, or even the beginnings of even a new way how to look at life, come back and go check out Coach Melody, right? There's an app for that. There's an app for you out there. So we look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much, Coach Melody, for being here.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, you all, check her out.
Hello and welcome. I am Coach Melody R., also known as the Forwardologist, and I am so glad that you decided to join me on today. On today, I'm so glad that you decided to fuel up at this gas station. The gas station called, there's an app for that. Yes, there's an app for that. On Moving Forward Boulevard. About myself, I am a certified life, business, and Christian coach. I am an ordained minister. I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of Florida. I'm a mother, a wife, a teacher, whatever you want me to be, that I can also be. And I'm so glad to announce I'm also an author of The Wisdom of Pain, How to Use Your Suffering to Grow and to Heal. And again, thank you for stopping by. There's an app for that on Moving Forward Boulevard. There's an app for that. So you may ask, what do I mean by that? Let me just share with you just a little bit about how that came about. Many years ago, I remember working for a company and I was hired in as just a temporary employee. And only thing that I was hired to do was just to process payments, meaning that the people will call in to make their payments online, and only thing I was to do was just get the information, and that was that. But in the midst of that, people began to ask more questions in reference to other departments, other lines of business within the company. And I want to share where just there's an app for that comes in. So in the midst of all of that, I'm one of those people that are never satisfied just being where I am. So I had to come up with a strategy. How can I be more of a service? Not just what I was hired to do, but what more could I do? So therefore, I began to gather up all the material for every department within the company. Yes, gather up all the training manuals and everything. And I began to take them home, and I began to study, and I began to research, and I began to equip myself to be able to answer questions if someone called in. No, it wasn't my job. It was far beyond that. I desired to know more. I desired to put myself in a better position. So with all of that information, so when the people began to call in and they wanted to know about this and they wanted to know about that, and so it was in the mortgage industry and they wanted to know about escrow accounts, they wanted to know about hazard insurance, and they wanted to know about all these different things that are covered within a mortgage. And so as I began to study and equip myself, I began to answer the questions. I began to set myself up. There's an app for that. And what there's an app for that, it simply means there's an application for it. There's an application for anything that we want to do in life, for any situation. It does not matter what the situation is. There is an app for that. So as I equip myself with more and more, and the people began to call in, I can answer every question that they had. And this is the mind concept that I began to form. Just like Walmart is a one-stop shop, Melody was going to be a one-stop shop. I had to create what I desired. So with that, you know, one of my favorite, most valuable thing that I practice consistently, what I've learned is if they don't invite you to the table, you create a table. So what I was doing was I was creating Melody to be more marketable. I was creating myself to put me in a position whereas I had choices. And what do you mean by choices? See, when there's an app for that, that means that you're in control. I can take the power that's in me along with my faith, and then I can begin to create. So I'm going to create a greater version of myself by applying the tools that I used and the knowledge that I gained in order to make a better version. And that there's an app to that. So as I began to do that, higher up, the executive team began to take notice. And then I began to dig a little more into it. And I learned some things that nobody in the company even knew about. there were some laws that we had not been practicing as a company. And so as I began to dig into that, I came in as that temporary associate just to process these payments. Then I began to move up the ladder. See, I didn't wait for them to train me or to teach me. I began to dig in for myself to make myself more marketable. See, when you discover the app, of you, you're more marketable. You're in control. You can make the rules for which you are to play by. And that is a practice that I do consistently. No matter where I go, no matter what the terms are, I'm going to always create an app for that. And you say, yeah, but that's not my story. That's not what I need an app for. But then I began to think about it. When they started creating, we have Netflix, we have HBO Max, we have Hulu, we have all of these different apps for anything that you need. Apps are just to simplify a process to get you quicker access to something. So I began to think down the road, if I can take the money to invest in Netflix, HBO Max, and all these other services, would I not take the time to create an app that's just for Melody to make me more marketable, more resourceful, and to make me more attractive to those that may those that may need me? There's an app for that. And so, and I want you to understand, and that's on the business side of things. So let's just channel it just a little bit to there's an app for that over on the life side. So I'm this little girl that grew up. I had many, many challenges. The woman that you see standing before you today is not always who I've always been. I was that quiet, shy, timid little girl that was scared of her voice, scared of her own shadow. And why? Because of the things that I endured as a child. And this is the one thing, and understand when there's an app for that, because I could have simply looked at myself and said, well, I'm just this bruised, this damaged little girl that just suffered. Woe is me. And you know, people just don't understand the things that I've been through. But then I had to create an app even for that. And I oftentimes say, although I was victimized, I was never a victim. Whoa, wait, what do I mean? I was victimized, but never a victim? It's the way you see yourself. And I had to come to the conclusion and I had to realize that it's the way that I receive it in my mind. I can stay a victim or see myself as a victim, or I can be an overcomer and see the beauty and the pain that I had to go through, because there was purpose behind even that. And I realized that there's an app for that. There's an app for everything that we go through, everything. So what I'm saying to you today is that you don't have to be stuck. You can come out of any situation that you're in, create the app. Just take the power that lies within you, take your faith, put them together to go forward for your destiny. There's purpose in everything that we go through. There's an app for that. We don't have to stay stuck. Now, I greatly thank you for taking the time to join me, and there's an app for that on Moving Forward Boulevard, because you're no longer in the place that you were once in. So, again, this is your girl, Coach Melody R., the Forwardologist. You can always reach me on the website at www.theforwardologist.com. And I invite you to just sign on to the website. Take a look. There's a freebie out there. It's called Self Recipe. It's your recipe for life. And I thank you for joining me. And remember, anytime you get stuck, create the app that's just for you. And remember, there's an app for that.
Hello and welcome.
Hello. How are you?
I am good. Share with us your name and the name of your business.
My name is Beverly Sanders, known everywhere as Rev Bev. I am the founder and CEO of Thrive Community Service and Breaking the Silence LLC.
Great. So question, what has been your biggest obstacle that you've overcome?
I think my biggest obstacle that I'm overcoming is being a finisher. Like that return on finish is something that, we've been hearing constantly as we have prepared for this great event. So I think that is what's been in my forefront, being a finisher, and then having the accountability, having the support, Black CEO and the SuccessFest, and, constantly seeing people who are where I am, saying who are saying the same thing, that, a return on finish, and doing those things. So I think that's one of the things that's been motivating me to do that, and realizing that I know I have big dreams, and so I have to start somewhere, so I don't even know how I got connected with Trevor or SuccessFest. I just kept seeing them, and I'm just like, is this a scam or what? I kept getting text messages and emails, about, come on, we need speakers. And so I was just like, you know what, let me go ahead and do this. The Lord is like, you pictured yourself on a stage talking to people, inspiring people, saying you have to start somewhere, saying that opportunities have to come from somewhere. So I think the obstacle of just walking in my truth is it. Yeah.
Okay, that's good, because the next question is, so why do you choose to help others become successful as you are?
I choose that because one, is my calling. It's my purpose. My calling and my purpose is to inspire people and help people see beyond where they are, help people see beyond their obstacles, help people see beyond the circumstances, and see hope in themselves. So many people are lost. And even in the body of Christ, saying, because, I am an ordained reverend. So, and I've been doing youth ministry with youth and young adults for over 30 years. And, just helping people see beyond where they are. So there's so many people out there who want so much out of their lives, but they're often stuck where they are. And they cannot visualize themselves or see themselves beyond where they are. So just kind of, my mission, my purpose is just to empower people. So I'm always the person that people are just like, you know what? If I want to stay where I am, I'm not going to call her right now. I will call Rev Bev when I'm ready to get inspired and motivated to move to the next step. But if I want to sit right where I'm at right now, I can't handle her cheerfulness or her empowerment all the time. So I'm a person that empowers and inspires people.
Well, good, because that answered the next question was, what was your biggest hope for those who you're called to serve? And so
my biggest hope is for them to definitely see beyond where they are and know that they are worthy and that they matter. Saying that God made us all fearfully and wonderfully. And that when you were formed in your mother's womb, you were predestined to live a life of purpose and to be a person of purpose. And sometimes people are not around people who can instill that in them, or people who can pull that out of them. So I see strength when other people see weakness. And so my hope is that people will learn to walk in their purpose and really see and understand who God created them to be, and to walk in that.
I love it. Your last question is, how do you plan on making this world a better place?
By inspiring and empowering as many people as I can. I think my main focus is not just in particularly women, but young people and young adults, in particularly young adults, because our young people are getting into adulthood, and people, once they turn 18, people stop remembering that they still need guidance, that they still need help, and they become 18 or 19, they go off to college or They're not doing anything, and then now they have to learn to be an adult by being an adult without getting, the help from adults. So it's being able to lift up this generation that we have now, because this generation is going to be the people who are going to be in place when we're senior citizens. So they need to be empowered to walk in their destiny, so helping young adults and young people, find their purpose and help them realize that you don't have to wait till you're 40 or until you're 45 or until you're 30, that you can do it now because God knew who you were when he created you. So that is my drive right now, in particularly young Black, young adult women, helping them find their purpose.
I love it. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that concludes the interview. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am so glad to be here with you today. My name is Beverly Sanders, and I am the CEO and founder of Thrive Community Service. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about breakthrough. My talk is about breakthrough. Breakthrough, the secret sauce is you. Who are you? Who am I? Why are you here? Why am I here? They asked me to write down my name and who I am. So I think very seriously and consider writing down the truth. Inside of me, there is what? What is going on in the inside of you? What lights your fire? What is keeping you from discovering your passion and your purpose? What is keeping you from putting yourself first? What is robbing you of your identity? Are you tired of living for everyone else except yourself? Are you tired of living up to everyone's expectations of you? Your answer to these questions will determine the direction of your life. If your purpose is wrong, your direction may be wrong. If your purpose is a little fuzzy, then maybe your direction may be a little bit fuzzy. If your purpose is misguided, then maybe your direction is a little bit misguided. If you're like most people, you are busy doing instead of being. You're living for everyone else except yourself. Your worth and your purpose are determined by other people's perception of you instead of what's in your own heart. You are allowing your worth and your purpose to be determined by your relationship status, whether you're single or married, divorced or widowed, your bank account. You are allowing your purpose to be determined by what? You fill in the blank. It is time for a breakthrough. It is time to look at the person in the mirror. It's time for you to find your passion. It's time for you to find your purpose, and time for you to prioritize you. It is time to live an inspired life because the secret sauce is you. So I want you to take out your phones. I know you have them near you. And if you can, grab a mirror. It's time to look at the person in the mirror. So if you're using your phone, open up your camera to the selfie mode. With your camera or your mirror, I want you to sit up straight, and I want you to look at yourself in the mirror or to look at yourself in your camera. What do you see? And I'm not talking about surface stuff. Like I see a mom or a dad, or, you know, I look good, or I'm pretty handsome, or I see a husband or a wife. What do you see under the mask that you wear every day? Under your titles, underneath the surface of the very core of who you are? What do you see under the makeup? Or that very clean cut, trim beard and mustache? Let's filter through the layers until you see yourself, until you see you. What do you really see? So take a moment and look in the mirror or in your phone and tell yourself what you see. I know this can be hard for some of you to see yourself or to look at yourself, and it's okay. No matter what you saw or what you don't see, know this: you are worthy, you are strong, you are capable, and you are loved. No matter what the world says or thinks about you, your purpose is valuable, and no matter what, you matter, and no one can take that from you. When I first looked at the man in the mirror, or when I first looked at myself in the mirror, it was hard for me too. I honestly did not know what I saw when I looked in the mirror. Sometimes I saw Beverly, but most times I saw the person I was trying to be for everyone else, always comparing myself to other people. So as you take a moment and you look in that mirror, look for the real you. And be as authentic and as transparent as you can be. So when this talk is over, I want you to take some time to reflect on who you are and use it as fuel to help move you forward. Find something to be passionate about. Find the purpose that drives you every day. Don't let anyone else determine your worth or your purpose but yourself. Did you know that your assignment in life is not to impress people? Your assignment is to impact people. There are too many people walking around with talents, gifts, and skills, and they never use it because they're afraid of what other people may think about them. They allow other people's opinions to shape their reality instead of shaping their own. It's time for a breakthrough. It is time for you to find your passion. It is time for you to find your purpose. It is time for you to prioritize your life and yourself. It is time to live an inspired life. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. The only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is a good work. And the only way to do a great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking, but don't settle. 10 years ago, I thought I was walking in my purpose. I was Rev Bev, and ministry was my focus. It was my life. I was operating out of my God-given gifts and talents. I was on fire for him. But something happened. I lost my job. I hit a wall, and it stopped me dead in my tracks and left me wondering what was next. I knew that I needed a breakthrough. Truth be told, my life needed a breakthrough. I had lost my job that I had worked at for 10 years. I was taking care of my mom and living on unemployment and food stamps, and I could barely pay my bills. But I was the busiest unemployed person you had ever seen. I was busy being a Martha instead of being a Mary. And I was not doing my part of taking care of myself. I was Rev Bev. I was the caregiver. I was the preacher. I was the mentor. I was the counselor to all of the children and the teens and young adults. I was a yes woman because my life was literally ministry 24/7 all over DC. If people said Mount Lebanon, they would say, wow, you must know Rev Bev. Everyone was talking about the work I was doing. And I was doing a great work, but at what cost? I was always tired. I was overwhelmed. And sometimes I literally felt like I could not breathe. And the tension of walking in my purpose had truly come to a head 10 years ago. I rarely said no, and I was doing very little at that point to take care of myself. I was almost at burnout because I was trying to live a life for everyone else. And I was sacrificing my mind, my body, and my spirit, rarely having opportunities to replenish. And I was running on empty. For years, I had struggled with several things, allowing everything and everyone else to be more important than me, never putting myself first and always comparing myself to other people. I was living through a cloud of brokenness and not knowing what breakthrough was. I learned that the only way to true breakthrough, the only tool I needed is purpose. Purpose gives you a reason to live and an anchor for your life. Purpose allows you to create meaning and discover direction when faced with difficult situations. Purpose fills us with inspiration and it fills us with hope. Purpose is powerful thing. It will set you free. Purpose it liberates us, and it allows us to break through the barriers with confidence. Purpose gives us clarity. It helps you make every decision better. It helps you to design and align your vision for your future. Purpose is your passion. It's your story and how God uses your unique gifts and talents to bring him glory. Purpose is your why, and it will help you define your how and your where. Purpose is the discovery that makes life worth living, and it is what lights your fire. It's time to live a purposeful life. Don't settle for anything less than what you deserve out of this life. An inspired life is a life of purpose and passion. It is a life where you are the priority. So prioritize your life, your purpose, your passion, and your time, and most importantly, you. Do you know why? Because the secret sauce is you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Beverly Sanders, and I am the CEO and founder of Thrive Community Service and Breaking the Silence, LLC. And I am so glad to be with you today to talk a little bit about breakthrough. The secret sauce is you. 3 steps to living an inspired life. We're going to talk a little bit today about finding your passion and your purpose, and learn how to prioritize you so that you can live an inspired life. I've always known what I wanted to do. I always knew that I wanted to help people. even when I thought I wanted to be a nurse and didn't like going to the doctor. But I've always known my purpose. And even though I knew my purpose, and I knew what made my heart smile and what gave me joy, the one thing I forgot about was me. I was doing a great work. I am doing a great work. And I was doing things well, but I was living for other people and not living for myself. I was making everyone else a priority and not making me a priority and not putting myself first. So today we're going to talk a little bit about your passion. We're going to talk a little bit about purpose, and we're going to talk about helping you find your passion and purpose and helping you prioritize your life and yourself, and to learn the importance of putting you first. So before we get started, there's a poem that I used to use called I Am. And I used to use this poem when I wanted to help people, young people, adults, men, women, didn't matter. When I wanted to help them discover what they wanted out of life. When I wanted to help them discover who they were. And it's called I Am. And as I recite some general pieces from many different I Ams that I've heard through the years, including my own, I want you to think about and see if any of the things that I may say relate to you. They asked me to write down my name. And I think and very seriously consider writing down the truth and have my answer read. Inside of me, there is fear, trauma, anger, worry, rage, doubt, uncertainty, a lack of faith, distrust, love, God. Can you relate to any of the things that I just said? What is right now where you are on the inside of you? And so let's go a little further. The next part of the poem reads, I am so much more than what? What are you much more than? I know that I am so much more than Rev Bev. I am so much more than a Black full-figured woman. I am so much more than a preacher, a life coach, a CEO, a case manager, or sister, or cousin, or godmother. I am so much more than all of those things. What about you? What are you so much more than? What do people see when they look at you? What do you allow people to label you as? I know that I am Beverly Renee Sanders. I know that I am worthy, capable, strong, fearless. I know that I am fearfully and I am wonderfully made. I know that I am confident. I know that I am loved. I know that I am unique, strong, and bold. So today we're going to just talk a little bit about purpose, a little bit about passion, and a little bit about priorities, and how those three things can help you live an inspired life. So I have a few slides that I want to share with you guys today. I'm going to bring my slides up so that we can talk a little bit about purpose. And talk a little bit about what it is and what it means to have that breakthrough. So let me just go back a little bit. It's okay. Breakthrough. The secret sauce is you. 3 steps to an inspired life. Do you know what lights your fire? Do you ever feel like life is passing you by without getting to do the things that really matter? Are you ready for a breakthrough and an inspired life? We all want to live lives with passion and purpose and priority. To be able to align our purpose with our passion and to make ourselves a priority so that we can live a life of purpose and meaning. It is often easier said than done, but having the right mindset and understanding your purpose can be the key to unlocking breakthroughs in your life. Do you ever wonder what makes you amazing? And what makes life amazing? Maybe we're not looking for magic, but for the power to break through and to find our purpose. You are an amazing person with a lot of potential. It is time to take charge and to figure out your passion, your purpose, and your priorities. This will help you live an inspired life. You are the key to living an extraordinary life. So, there are 3 steps that we're going to talk about today that can help you start your journey to this self-discovery. First, we're going to talk about purpose. Find your purpose. Purpose is like an explorer, always searching for ways to align your passion and your purpose in order to make positive impacts on the world. Purpose is to be brave and willing to take risk and be adventurous. Purpose doesn't give up until it finds its true calling. Do you know how special you are? Your purpose is unique and special to you. Take the time to really understand your purpose in life. Ask yourself questions like, what makes you come alive? What do you value most in life? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Knowing your purpose will help you prioritize what really matters and give you the courage to go after your dreams. Some people are born knowing what they want out of life. They find their passion or their talents early, and they just do it. They go for it. If you're struggling to work out what really is important to you, if you're struggling to really understand and really want to know what you want to do with your life, don't give up and don't ever quit. So, we got some simple questions. I got some simple questions that I'm going to ask you in a few minutes. You can work through them and they will help you discover your life purpose. While it's important to give each question proper consideration, try not to over-agonize your responses. Allow your inner child and your intuition to guide your answers. And don't forget, think big. Make this your starting point. Use these questions to take a deep dive to help you find out more about yourself so that you can set yourself on that true path. All right? Question number 1. If money was no object, what would you do with it? I know I would buy me a car. I actually would buy me a truck. Okay. I would build a community center in my community for families to come and be families again. Well, we will have family nights, game nights, all sorts of activities for families to do. A place in the community that will serve the community. I would go to the Caribbean, so a couple of places, for at least a week, probably each one of them, because I need a vacation. I would do some of those things. But if you had a never-ending magic source of money, how would you choose to spend it? And be honest. The answers will help you. And they're not meant to impress anyone. Like I said, I would go on a vacation. I would build a community center. I would buy me a truck. I would probably buy a van too, so I could have room to like transport all kinds of things and items to people who are in need and help them. I will make a reboot room. Yep. Where people can come and just be still for a moment and just breathe. What would you do? Question number 2. If you could do anything for the whole day, how would you spend it? I know last Saturday, I spent my entire day distributing toys for Tots. And I loved every minute of it. Even though I said I was only going to do it for an hour or 2, but I ended up doing it for 6. And I wasn't even tired after I finished it. I ended up writing a sermon after that and preached the next day. And I still wasn't tired. That's because I loved doing what I did. I loved distributing the toys. I loved when I came home and was inspired and wrote that sermon and then delivering it. I loved doing those things. So think about your perfect day. And then it's okay if you want your perfect day is lying in the sun. Even if your perfect day is binge watching Netflix, because maybe you need some rest. That's a part of prioritizing you, right? Try and describe your ideal day and be as detailed as you possibly can. Step number 2, passion. What lights your fire and what makes your heart smile? Passion is like a fire, burning brightly and lighting your way to discovering what truly makes you come alive. Passion fuels your dreams and it leads you on a journey of exploration. Passion always pushes you one step further than what you're comfortable. Do you know what truly excites you? Are there activities that make you feel alive? Are there activities that you do that time just flies by and you don't even recognize it? You don't even realize it. What are some of your favorite things to do in life? Your passion is what makes you feel alive. It makes you feel good on the inside. It is what excites you. It is what drives you. What is that one thing that interests you? And when you do it, you lose track of time. And I'm not talking about strolling through social media. Do you know when you are doing what you are passionate about, you will lose track of time? It's because you're in the flow. And it seems like time just stands still. You're in the zone. I'm in the zone. You're in your element. And everything flows naturally. Try spending some time discovering and exploring what brings you joy. When you do this, this will help you recognize the things that light your fire and make you feel alive. So quickly, I have 5 little steps of passion that help you find your passion. If you want to live a life of passion, if you want to live your best life, then you need to find your passion and you need to follow it. Sound easy, doesn't it? It isn't that hard. And it's surprising that many people don't do it. They seem happy just existing rather than living a life of happiness and success. To change your life for the better and to create a future, let's look at these little quick 5 steps to finding your passion. First, always dream big. Dream big. Everyone has big dreams. I know you do. What have you done with yours? Do you think about them? Have you acted on them? Or are you just hiding them away? If you want your passion and your purpose, then it's time to dream big. So think about, make a list of the things that you've always wanted to do. Those big dreams that you've had since you were a child to today. Those dreams that you had when you were in your 30s or in your 40s or your 50s, even your 60s, or even your 70s. What are those dreams that you've had since childhood? Write them down. And no matter how wild they are or how funny they are, write every last one of them down. Which of those dreams resonate most with you? Which of those dreams makes your heart sing? What one of them, or how many of them inspires you the most? Make sure that they are realistic and make sure they are achievable. Your big dream does not have to be huge and outrageous. It just needs to be big enough to push you out of your comfort zone. Needs to be big enough so that you will be willing to commit to making changes in your life so that you can achieve it. It needs to spark a desire in you and your passion. Step 2, set goals. Once you've decided what your idea or your big dream is, then you need to set some goals. Setting goals are essential and they are important. Your end goal is what you want to achieve. It is your dream. There will be other smaller goals, of course, that you will set along the way, and you will achieve them. Make sure you keep note of that. Make sure you write down your big and your little dreams, your big goals and your little goals. Step 3, plan your way. Now that you know what you need to achieve, it's time to plan what you need to do to get there. Think about that, what action you need to take, what resources you will need, and anything or anyone that will help you provide the help and support. Sometimes we forget about the resources that we already have around us, And sometimes we forget about the people that can help us, give us the support we need. It is okay to ask for help. Make a plan. Write it down. Number 4, take action. You know what you want, how you can achieve it, and the steps to take. But remember, it's time to take action. Remember, you are looking for a passionate life, one that fills you with excitement, with joy, and success. So don't rush. Discover it. 5, live your best life. Once you've started taking action on your goals and plans, you will find that your life starts to improve. It will start to really improve. And instead of dreading each day like some of us do, like some of you do, I don't. You'll look forward to it with excitement and anticipation. Your best life is the one that gives you happiness, success, and achievement through living your passion and your purpose. If you want to find and live your passion, then you can follow those 5 steps that we just talked about. You can do it on your own, or you can give yourself a helpful boost by using a coach, maybe a mentor, someone that will help you get there. Our 3rd step, prioritize your life and put yourself first. So you got passion, purpose, and everyday life. Woo! Balance is what we got to learn. Priority is like a navigator, finding balance between passion, purpose, and everyday life. Priority helps you stay focused while making sure that all of the areas of your life are given their due attention. Priority keeps you and keeps us grounded on our goals, so that when we reach them, we will reach them with clarity and focus. When you put yourself first, it does not mean that you are being selfish. Putting yourself first is essential and it is necessary. It means that you are making your well-being and your development a priority. You will make better decisions for yourself when you take care of your needs. When you prioritize yourself, it allows having the energy and capacity needed to be present with others without feeling overwhelmed or resentful. I was reminded this morning that you love your neighbor as you love yourself. And in order for you to be everything that you want to be for everybody else, you have to first be those things for yourself. So that means it says love your neighbor as you love yourself, that you have to love you first. You have to put you first. When you prioritize yourself, it allows you to have that energy and the capacity needed to be present with everyone else. You will be able to make more meaningful connections with others, and you'll be able to embrace your life more fully. Ultimately, you will prioritize yourself. It will help you become more aware of what matters more to your life, and it will help you create a life that is purposeful, passionate, and abundant. You matter, and so does your life. Take the time to make it a priority, and you will find that the secret sauce is you. Once you have made yourself a priority and have identified what matters to you, it is time to live life accordingly. You have to put yourself first. Why is it so hard for us to do that? It is hard for us to do that because we were taught that everyone needs is more important than us. We were taught that it's selfish to think about yourself, but we can't do those things. The secret sauce is you. You are an extraordinary person. So schedule some time for yourself. Create a plan each day or week that helps put your passion and your purpose at the forefront. Take some time to make sure that you're healthy. Spend time with your loved ones. Focus on meaningful activities that will help you reach your goals and your dreams. Putting your passions first is the key to living a fulfilling life. The secret sauce is you. You are an extraordinary, amazing, and wonderful person. And you deserve the best. 3 ways of living an inspired life. Live with purpose. Don't forget to celebrate yourself. Take time to acknowledge your success and relish in them. You're worth it. Your journey to self-discovery awaits you. Go for it. One of the most effective ways to discover your purpose and your passion is to give yourself time and space and permission to explore and discover all of the things that we talked about today. Change is hard and it is difficult, but it's worth it. Give yourself the time and the space and the permission to discover your passion, your purpose, and prioritize by making you a priority first. Listen to your inner voice. Trust your instincts and be brave enough to take the actions that you need to take. Take time away from your everyday life and take time to reflect and to think about the type of life that you want to live. Those 3 steps that you just saw to living an inspired life, living with purpose, take time to discover your purpose and make it a priority in your life. I live with purpose. Make yourself a priority. I make myself a priority, and so can you. Taking care of yourself mentally and physically and spiritually is essential to living an inspired life. Believe in yourself. I believe in myself, Do you believe in you? Have faith in yourself and in your capabilities. You are capable of achieving anything that you set your mind to. The secret sauce is you. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something or that you aren't worth it. Believe in yourself and enjoy the abundance of life by taking action on your purpose, your passion, and your priorities. You matter. Your life matters, and your life has meaning. Discovering your purpose allows you to live an inspired life and to be your own hero and your own cheerleader. Start the journey by unlocking breakthroughs today. It is never too late to start living an inspired life. It is never too late to live a life full of purpose, passion, and priorities. You got this. Because at the end of the day, it is important that you remember that you are the secret to living an inspired life. Life is too short not to live your life with purpose and not to do what brings you joy. Make yourself a priority. Discover your passions and find out how you can use it to bring about meaningful change in this world. You have something special on the inside of you. Use it. Be your own hero. Remember? Be your own cheerleader and navigator. There is no limit to what you can achieve when you make you a priority. You have the power to be and to do whatever you want. So don't let anyone or anything stop you from achieving your dreams. You matter. And that is the secret sauce. Know that and go out there and show the world what's on the inside of you. You can do it. Believe in yourself and stay focused on what makes the most of your life and make the most of your life. The secret sauce is you. Now go out there and show the world that you've got it. You are fearfully and you are wonderfully made. And you have something great and wonderful on the inside of you. Find it, use it, and live an inspired life. I hope you enjoyed talking about breakthrough today. I hope you got one. And I hope you realize that the secret sauce is you. I hope that you will take the time to discover your passion, your purpose, and your priorities. Be on the lookout for some great things coming your way by me, Rev Bev, by Beverly. Finding and living life with purpose, self-worth challenge, life coaching. If you need someone to talk to, if you need some help, I'm here. The secret sauce is you. Do you need help finding your secret sauce? Do you need help finding who you are and what your passion is and what your purpose is? If you do, you can find me at revbevstandards.com. You can find me on Facebook at Thrive Community Service and at Beverly Sanders. It has been a delight and amazing time talking with you all today. I hope today you got your breakthrough. I hope today that you found out that the secret sauce is you. And I hope today you begin to discover your passion, your purpose, and your priorities so that you can live an inspired life. Thank you.
Greetings and welcome to SuccessFest. I am Dr. Evelyn, and today I have with me Harriet Harris, who's going to introduce herself, and she's going to tell us about her business, the name of the business, and what it is that you do.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Harriet M. Harris, and I am the Limitless Business Coach. I help ambitious women to overcome their limiting beliefs and really to remove the internal roadblocks that they have that's keeping them from living the lives that they want. So I help them to overcome those limiting beliefs, overcome those internal roadblocks so that they can create the life and business that they love and enjoy. I'm also an author. I recently released, I guess, my new book, Stop Stopping Your Success, which is all about helping you to understand what limiting beliefs are and really how our thoughts and beliefs affect our success, how they hold us back and keep us from living the lives and the lives and the dreams that we have. Mm-hmm. I am also the host of a new podcast that was recently released entitled You Are Not Your Trauma. Okay. And that has been really a blessing to me because as a person who really felt defined by my childhood trauma, it's something that I have started in hopes to help people who have experienced trauma to know that despite what they went through, they're not defined from those experiences and that they can still have a magnificent life despite the bad thing or things that may have happened to them.
Sure. I think that what you're doing is quite timely because many times, as entrepreneurs, we, as I say, shoot ourselves in the foot because we don't know what our limiting beliefs are until all of a sudden we're trying to figure it out. So that's a wonderful company to have. And so what made you decide to be an entrepreneur?
Well, honestly, entrepreneurship has been with me my entire life. My dad was an entrepreneur. And even when I started in the corporate world, I started right out of college working a corporate job. There's always some itch to do my own thing. So I tried many things that were kind of here and there, but it was really after many years of just really feeling like I didn't fit into corporate, that I was like, okay, God, I need you to just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Tell me what my purpose is. Because I know, but I need to figure it out. And so after a days, weeks, years, I guess we say, of just talking to God and trying to figure it all out, there was this day that I can remember. It was full of tears and me just saying, okay, God, I need you to tell me, just tell me and I'll do it. And he reminded me of this great idea that I had when I was fresh out of college, I think maybe a year out of college. Mm-hmm. And he reminded me how I wanted to pursue this great thing and I didn't know how. And the reminder was there, like, you aren't the only one. Like, you are not the only person who wants to do these great things, who has these great ideas. Because let me just say, my idea has been implemented and somebody made a lot of money behind it.
Wow.
Because my idea was to create a website where people could schedule their doctor's appointments. And this was in 2003. Okay. Nobody was thinking that, at least nobody that I knew, you know, and so now, you know, here we are nearly 2 decades later, and, you know, that is well implemented within websites and apps. So, you know, so that reminder that, you know, I wasn't the only person that didn't know that. I had this desire to help people because I felt like, you know, if I could help someone do something that I couldn't figure out at one point, but that I've learned through my own experiences how to do, then, you know, it could be beneficial to someone else.
Absolutely. Because many times we fail simply because we don't know where to find the information.
Exactly.
And
then
so
we stop trying.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So, you know, you can't look for that you don't even know exists.
Exactly.
And so the connection is important, to be able to connect to people and help them guide their process. Right. So how do you see SuccessFest helping you to move that word forward?
Wow. I mean, honestly, I could say one word, and that is community. I feel like I was missing community in my business and in my life, especially being in a world where we are now, where so much is virtual.
Yes.
When I relocated where I currently live, I started working from home because just the way my job was set up. So I've been working remotely since 2016, where a lot of people just kind of jumped into this, you know, real heavy in
COVID.
2020.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so I've been working from home since 2016, and it really felt a little lonely. You know, it felt like even though it's a good situation for my family life, you know, it can get a little lonely. So I feel like with SuccessFest, I have been able to really create a community of people, of like-minded people, that has not only been able to help my podcast, but be able to support them. And so it's just a really nice opportunity to meet new people, learn new things. I've learned about things that I didn't even know were things. Yes. I mean, I've met different types of coaches and different types of consultants. So, I mean, it's just a great opportunity for me, like I said, to create a community of people outside of, you know, my work people, my friend people, my church people, but just like-minded entrepreneurs like me.
Well, we are glad to have you. We are very happy that you are participating in SuccessFest, and we look forward to your presentation, to hear what you have to say, and making sure that other people know about you and know that if they don't know the answer, you can help them figure it out.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. That's what SuccessFest is all about, making sure that there is ujima, a sharing of resources. Yes. So we thank you for your participation, and we look forward to seeing what you have to say. So have a great day, and thank you again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have you ever felt powerless? There was a time in my life where I would often say, if something bad is going to happen, it'll happen to me. Why? Because my life felt like it was full of challenges. Starting as early as 10 years old, when I experienced a very traumatic childhood trauma. Then I grew up and I got married, and well, that was its own roller coaster. I spent nearly 2 decades in a career where I felt overlooked and that my talents and abilities often went unrecognized. I felt powerless, as if things just kept happening in my life that were outside of my control. These challenges often made me feel unseen and unheard and undervalued, unappreciated, and really just not enough. Whenever something bad happened in my life, somehow, some way in my mind, it got linked back to the trauma I experienced as a child. I would go down these rabbit holes thinking how if that one bad thing had not happened to me, my life would be so different. After attending a women's wellness conference, I returned home fired up from everything that had been poured into me during that conference. I was ready to release all the negative things that I'd been holding on to. And then my reality hit me smack in the face. I realized I had been dragging around decades of hurt and pain, embarrassment, abandonment, and betrayal as a result of what happened to me when I was just 10. Not to mention all the limiting beliefs that had been created by the self-blame that I placed upon myself. I began thinking, girl, why have you been blaming yourself for all these years, over 3 decades, for what someone else did to you? Just the thought of it was irritating, to say the very least. I was also quite frustrated and annoyed because the reality was I'd spent a lot of years allowing my negative thoughts to sabotage me over and over and over again. I'd done the work to forgive the people that had hurt me and betrayed me years ago. But one thing I failed to do was to forgive me. And it was time. It was time to let it all go. I had to. And I finally did. I finally forgave myself. Charles Swindoll says, life is 10% what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. So it was past time that I reacted differently and realized that each moment moving forward was all about a choice. And the choice was mine. The choice I made to forgive myself changed everything because that is when my healing finally began. That is when I began to see myself as the gem that I was created to be. That choice prepared me for a quiet moment when the Holy Spirit whispered into my ear, "You are not your trauma." Those were words that I never knew I needed to hear, but I absolutely needed to hear them. Prior to beginning my healing journey, I seriously doubt that I would have been able to really receive that message because for years, I had been so stuck in allowing my traumatic experience to define me. So, despite the childhood trauma and the marriage drama, I survived. I survived to thrive. I am not powerless, and neither are you. It's been said that every ending leads to a new beginning. And I had to end blaming myself to begin to forgive myself. I had to end feeling that life was unfair so that I could start living with abundance and gratitude. I had to end feeling like a victim so that I could start being powerful and take responsibility for my own happiness. I had to end feeling like I could never be enough so that I could start being exactly who God created me to be. So I challenge you to consider this. What do you need to end in your life in order to create your new beginning? Now, I know my story is not entirely unique. I'm sure many of you have experienced something similar. But I want you to know that if you're carrying the weight of blame and shame or feeling powerless and stuck like I did for so many years, just know that you aren't alone. And know that it is possible to move from the pain of trauma and challenges that you encounter in life. You see, when the Holy Spirit whispered those words, "You are not your trauma," with me, those words remained in my spirit for weeks. And I wasn't sure just what I was being tasked with. I knew it was something that I was supposed to share, but I wasn't quite sure in what manner that I needed to share it. I now realize that not only was I supposed to tell each and every trauma survivor under the sound of my voice, "You are not your trauma," I was also supposed to provide you with tips on how to triumph after you've gone through a traumatic experience. So, what I'm going to do is give you 3 tips to triumph after experiencing a trauma. First of all, let's be clear. Your trauma is not who you are. You are more than the things that have happened to you. You are the person who has decided to fight back against whatever pain life has thrown at you. You are the person who is standing up and saying, "I am enough." You made it through your difficult time because of your perseverance and resilience. Now it's time to take those skills and use them to grow into the best version of yourself possible. Even if someone in your life ignored or invalidated what you went through, it's not too late. You can still heal. So, my first tip for triumphing after trauma is to heal. Trauma is a wound that needs to be treated. And the first step to healing is acknowledging that it happened. You can't heal if you don't know how bad the damage is. Healing may be one word, but it's a very complex process. Healing is a multidimensional journey that involves many different parts of you. It may look different for everyone, but the basic principles are the same. You have to acknowledge what happened and honor your experience. If your trauma is compounded with self-blame, you have to forgive yourself, because holding on to the blame can keep you ruminating in an endless cycle of negativity and pain. Then you need to give yourself permission to feel your feelings and experience them fully, without judgment or without fear. You will also need to find support from friends, family, or professionals. It's important to have people in your life who can help you through this experience. And finally, in your journey of healing, acknowledge that you are indeed a survivor. Now, my next tip for triumphing after trauma is to grow, because trauma can impact our lives in ways that are so unexpected, sometimes in very surprising ways. It's really important to acknowledge these things and let them guide your growth as an individual, so that you don't get stuck trying to live the same way forever. So, as hard as it may be to believe, there is purpose behind pain. And if you're like me, I felt the pain was punishment for mistakes that I'd made in life. But I now know that my pain guided me to my purpose. And it's the same for you. You have a purpose in this life, and your pain is guiding you there. I realized that my purpose was to help others who were struggling with the same issues I had been through. So here I am, helping people heal from trauma and pain in a way that's life-changing for us all. And my final tip for triumphing after trauma is to flourish. Flourishing is not just surviving, it's thriving. It's having a rich, full life that has meaning and purpose. When you are flourishing, your life feels more like the thing you dreamed of when you were little, the idealized version of yourself that includes all of your hopes and dreams. I believe that part of thriving after trauma is accepting that you will never be the same again. Now, this doesn't mean that you are less of a person or that something bad has happened to you. It just means that life will never be the same as it was before. And this is a very important part of the process. You can't just survive trauma. You have to thrive after it too. This also means making sure that you are taking care of yourself and your mental health, as well as continuing to do things that make you happy. So after you've done all the work, on yourself to heal and to grow, it's time to reap the rewards and flourish. It's time to put the past behind you and move forward. It's time to create new dreams and goals that align with who you have become and what you want for your life moving forward. No longer does your past define you, because you are not your trauma. I'm Harriet Harris. I am the Limitless Business Coach, and I help ambitious women remove internal roadblocks and overcome limiting beliefs so that they can finally create a life and business that they love. If overcoming trauma is something that you desire to do, please check out my podcast, You Are Not Your Trauma, which is available on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Learn more about the podcast at www.youarenotyourtraumapodcast.com or connect on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're ready to live a life of thriving and not just surviving, then grab a free copy of my ebook, Limitless Living: Face Every Adversity Regardless.
Hello, and welcome to Stop Stopping Your Success, the 6 R's to Ridding Limiting Beliefs. I'm Harriet Harris, and I'm so glad that you're here today. Now, I won't bore you with details and bullet points about me, but I do want to start by asking you a question. Have you ever felt stuck? Like you wanted to do more, be more, achieve more, but you just couldn't manage to get where you wanted to be in life? I know I have. There's actually a time in my life where I would say, if anything bad is going to happen, it'll happen to me. Why? Because my life seemed to be full of challenges. And a lot of times when we're facing challenges, we feel like we're the only ones in the world. But for me, those challenges started at the very early age of 10 years old, when I experienced a traumatic childhood trauma. I grew up, I got married, and well, that was its very own roller coaster. I spent nearly 2 decades in a career where I felt overlooked and my talents and abilities were often unrecognized. I often felt powerless, as if things in my life just kept happening to me and I had no control. These challenges made me feel unseen, unheard, undervalued, unappreciated, and really just not enough. Have you ever felt that way? I personally often felt powerless, as if things just kept happening and I couldn't do anything about it. So whenever something bad happened to me, somehow, some way, I could always find a way in my mind to relate it back to what happened when I was a child. I would go down these rabbit holes thinking how if that one bad thing hadn't happened to me, then my life would just be different. I would have made different decisions. I would have been stronger. I would have been bolder. For me, everything went back to that one thing. So after attending a women's wellness conference, I returned home and I was fired up from everything that had been poured into me during that conference. I was ready to release all the negative things that I had been holding on to. because I realized that I've been holding on to them for way too long. It was like some sort of reality just smacked me in the face. And it made it clear to me that I had been dragging around decades of hurt and pain and embarrassment and abandonment and betrayal as a result of what happened to me when I was 10. Not to mention the self-blame that I placed upon myself that eventually manifested into limiting beliefs. You see, up until this point, I had no idea the power of my beliefs and my thoughts and the impact they could have on my life and ultimately my success. Charles Swindoll said, life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. See, I had been stuck in a negative loop, and it was time to break out of it. I began to realize that if I wanted my life to change, then I had to change my thoughts and beliefs. I came to realize that each moment moving forward was all about making a choice. And if I wanted things to be different in my life, then I needed to show up differently. I needed to think differently, and I needed to believe differently. See, at this point, I realized I had two choices. I could either continue to be a victim of my circumstances, or I could make a choice to be the creator of my own life. And I chose the latter. I started by finally forgiving myself. It took 3 decades, but I did it. And once I did, I began to see the world as a place of unlimited potential, where my dreams were possible. I began to see myself as someone who could create anything I wanted in my life by simply deciding what I wanted and then taking action toward it. That one choice that I made to forgive myself, it changed so much for me. The reality was that my negative thoughts and beliefs were holding me back because I didn't believe in myself. I expected bad things to happen, and I didn't think I could do anything about it. Isn't that just crazy? But by making a conscious effort to change the negative thoughts and beliefs I had about myself, I began to create new thoughts and new beliefs that were more aligned with the life that I wanted to live and the person that I wanted to become. And you can do the same. You just have to decide that you are finally ready to stop stopping your success. So if you've ever wondered, what's stopping you from living the life you desire, the goals you want to achieve, or the success that you want to have, I'm here to tell you what it is. What's stopping your success? Is limiting beliefs. That's what. Now, you may be wondering, how can thoughts and beliefs affect my success? And I get it because, I had very similar thoughts when I first realized what was happening. And here's the thing, it all starts with your mind. See, our minds are way more powerful than we give them credit for. Our minds have two main components, the conscious and the subconscious. The subconscious is the source of our thoughts, our ability to use logic, our problem-solving abilities, pretty much everything that involves rational thinking. But then there's our subconscious mind. And that handles pretty much everything else, like our emotions, our imaginations, and our deepest fears. This part of the mind doesn't think features and simple rules. Its ultimate goal is to keep you safe. And this is the part of the mind that holds your limiting beliefs. So in this training, you'll learn how to identify the toxic thoughts and limiting beliefs that are holding you back and how to replace them with more positive, supportive thoughts. And by the end of the training, you'll have a greater sense of self-confidence and belief in your ability to achieve your goals. So in order to stop stopping your success, you need to begin by assessing your thoughts. Like I said before, thoughts are powerful, way more powerful than I ever imagined. And they have the ability to influence how you feel and what actions you take, and ultimately how successful you are. So in order to understand how limiting beliefs work and how they affect your success, let's begin by understanding what a limiting belief is. So to answer the question, what is a limiting belief anyway? Okay, limiting beliefs are stories about yourself and about the world around you that your subconscious mind believes to be true. Negative things that you tell yourself about yourself that can be incredibly harmful to your confidence and your self-esteem. It doesn't matter if they're true or not, because your mind believes them to be true. And what our mind believes to be true is really what becomes our reality. These limiting beliefs can make it hard for you to succeed because they create an invisible barrier between where you are now and where you want to be. These beliefs sabotage your best efforts at reaching your goal. You basically cause these problems yourself, but not intentionally or consciously. In most cases, your conscious mind doesn't even realize that it's happening. Many limiting beliefs are a result of something that someone has said to or about us. I love to share this example about my younger brother. When he was a little boy, he would always ask for my mom's sweet tea. Now, my mom loves sweet tea, and she didn't like to share it. So one day she told him that sweet tea was nasty. And I'm pretty sure that he wasn't more than about 5 years old when this happened. He's now 35. And to this day, he does not drink sweet tea. He said he's tried it, and to him, it's nasty. Now, I can't wrap my mind around that concept because I too love sweet tea. Now, this isn't necessarily a limiting belief unless you consider not drinking sweet tea problematic, which I kind of think it's problematic. But seriously, I use this example as a way to show you how our environment and our experiences can affect the things that we actually believe. So you may be wondering, I may not have limiting beliefs. You may be thinking, not me, like this may be for someone else, not me. So let's talk about who do limiting beliefs affect? And the answer is really simple. It's everyone. Believe it or not, every human being has had limiting beliefs at some point in their life. You may not have them now, you may be able to manage them well, but we've all had them. They may be small or large, but they all have the same effects. They hold us back from achieving the things that we want to achieve. They keep us from our dreams, they keep us from our goals, they keep us from success. They can be incredibly powerful because they don't just affect us, they affect every aspect of our lives and the people around us. Limiting beliefs are ingrained in our minds, and it usually starts from childhood. For example, the sweet tea incident with my little brother. They are rules we tell ourselves about how we must live our lives and the things we must do, about who we are and the things we're capable of doing, and the things that we could never accomplish. They are the stories we believe about ourselves and what drives our decisions to do things. Because if we believe that, we aren't capable of doing something, we typically won't try. So for example, if you believe or have ever believed that you weren't good enough or intelligent enough to do something, or maybe you think you are a failure because you tried something new and it didn't work out. You may also believe that other people are better than you or have more potential than you. These beliefs may come as a result of something someone said to you at a young age that you began to believe about yourself, or something you started to believe because you felt you didn't measure up based on someone else's standards. I can remember when I was a kid, people told me that I couldn't dance. So I stopped dancing, at least in front of anyone. I convinced myself that I couldn't dance. So I started to believe what they said, and I stopped even trying. If someone asked me to dance, I would say, I can't dance, and I would refuse to even try. And the truth is, I can dance, maybe not as well as others, maybe not to the standard of others, but physically, I can dance, and I really like to dance. So there's no reason that I shouldn't do something that I enjoy doing, right? Would you agree? So the truth of the matter is this: limiting beliefs are often lies. Yes, I said it, they're lies. Any belief that holds you back or limits you can be a limiting belief. Things that you say with very little thought, like, I'm not good at math, or I never get anything right. There's stories that we tell ourselves that our mind begins to believe are true. And in reality, these things aren't true. Just about anyone can learn basic math skills, and most people can reach their goals if they just try and not talk themselves out of it. However, those facts become irrelevant because your subconscious mind will convince you that it's not possible, and it affects your ability to get it done because you stop trying. And that is where the biggest problem lies. So this quote by Henry Ford says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So this quote, it really emphasizes just how much our thoughts impact our limitations. If your thoughts align with an ability to get things done, then you will typically put forth more effort into actually taking action. But if your thoughts align with an inability to get something done, then your effort will match it. Limiting beliefs are powerful because they are based on experiences. Our brains are designed to make sense of the world by making associations between things that happen around us and what we believe about those things. So if you have a negative experience with something, your brain will associate it with other similar situations in the future. Limiting beliefs also become a defense mechanism because, like I told you before, they are in the subconscious mind, which is where you create protection. So that's where you're protected. And that often comes from something that hurt you or caused you to suffer in some way. Your mind creates a limiting belief, like I said, to protect you. So you think about if you touch a hot stove, a little kid, you, an adult, doesn't matter, either one. Your brain begins to make a new rule. Don't touch a hot stove. Why? Because it's protecting you. So from that point on, you are subconsciously careful about not doing that again. Do you agree? A limiting belief is the emotional equivalent to touching that hot stove. They try to protect you from other forms of harm or hurt that you've experienced. And because most limiting beliefs are developed in childhood, usually by the age of 7, they become a part of you. So much so that you can unknowingly begin to use them as excuses to accept why you can't do or achieve something. And this is personal for me because I can say that in my decades of dealing with limiting beliefs, that this is so very true. Limiting beliefs are just what they say. They're limiting. So they will stop you from doing or having something that you truly desire. Now, the reason that limiting beliefs are dangerous is because they can keep you from achieving your hopes and dreams and goals. They can make you fearful and hesitant to take action toward who you know you were created to be. They can even affect your relationships with others. So anything that's stopping you from being who you're supposed to be is dangerous because then it's keeping you from going after and achieving the goals that you have set for yourself. So take a look at these examples of limiting beliefs. And I wanted you to just take a look and notice the pattern. Do you notice how they all began with, I can't? See, whenever you start a sentence with, I can't, you're setting yourself up for failure. I can't get straight A's in school because I'm not smart enough, says who? I can't go back to college because I'm too old. Who says? I can't start a business because I'm too young. Why is that? If you later decide to try to accomplish any of these things, you'll always have that nagging voice in the back of your head telling you that you can't do it because you've been saying it all along. And that voice is just telling you all the reasons why something can't happen. And it's just not true. This voice can also cause you to give up too soon or without getting all the facts or putting forth a real effort. I can't tell you the number of people I talk to as a business coach that decide that they can't start a business because it's too expensive without ever writing down the numbers. You got to know the information before you decide what you can't do. So the tricky thing about limiting beliefs is that they can be hard to recognize because they become normalized as part of your belief system. So when you think about it, when you have thought or felt something for so long or believed something for so long, it becomes normal. It becomes just part of who you are. When in actuality, these limiting beliefs are irrational and untrue. If we go back to my previous example of, I'm not good at math, even if you're brilliant, everyone gets bad grades at some point. We don't always know why these thoughts get stuck inside our head, but once they do, it's hard for them to go away on their own. So here are some common limiting beliefs, and I want you to just take a look at these. Limiting beliefs can trap you in a negative mindset that can be very hard to escape. A negative mindset often leads to feelings of fear, anxiety, and self-doubt. These emotions can cause you to make poor decisions, often the opposite of what you want out of life. For example, if you have a limiting belief that I'm not good enough, this will affect your self-esteem and feelings about yourself. As a result, it could lead to fear or anxiety when facing challenges or difficult situations in life. Another example is if you have a limiting belief that, I don't have enough money to start a business. This belief can sabotage you because if you've already convinced yourself that you don't have enough money, how likely is it that you're going to sit down, gather the startup costs needed, and look for alternative ways? I can't tell you, again, like I said before, the number of people I've worked with that are afraid of an unknown number. If you don't know what the number is, then how do you know you can't do it? So if we wish to achieve our true potential, we must destroy the limiting beliefs that are holding us back. And in order to destroy your limiting beliefs, you have to start by understanding what they are, where they came from, and how they are affecting your life. Because you can't fix what you don't know is broken. So what beliefs are holding you back? Limiting beliefs must be destroyed so they can no longer keep you from being who you are created to be. And there are several methods you can use to do this. But in this training, I'll use a process. Okay, so in this training, I'll use a process that I created called the 6 R's to ridding limiting beliefs. But first, I want you to take a moment and think about what beliefs you have that are holding you back. Think of a situation in your life that you're not satisfied with. Where are your results not in alignment with what you really want to do or be or have? What areas of your life do you feel stuck or stagnant? Where have you not been able to make progress despite your best efforts? For example, maybe you're not happy with the amount of money you make. So I want you to use the following fill in the blank statement, and you can use this with the limiting belief that you create. So this example is, I can't make more money because blank. So if you feel like you don't make enough money and that's, a thought that you have, then what goes in the blank? Why do you feel that way? And if that's not your, your belief, then I don't want to put that on you. But if that's not your belief, think of what beliefs that you have that are holding you back. Maybe you feel like you want to go back to school and get a degree. Like, I can't go back to school because blank, or I can't buy the house I want because blank. So whatever it is, I want you to write it down and then put that blank there. And I want you to think of the reasons that come up after the word because. Okay. This is a limiting belief or thought that is likely holding you back. So to continue this example, I can't make more money because I'm afraid I'll lose it all and wind up more broke than I am now. The limiting belief here is then if I make money, I'll lose it. And you can also take this a step further and identify where this belief came from. Did you hear your parents fight about money? Have you run into a situation where you are constantly having to spend a lot of money and have a hard time keeping it saved? Think about where it comes from. Ask yourself, when was the first time I felt this way? Or the first time I had this thought? This can provide really invaluable insight into the fact that this belief is not a truth. It's just a belief. So as you're thinking through your limiting beliefs, be careful not to judge yourself or any of the negative thoughts or beliefs that come up. You're simply in a position now where you're observing so that you can change those beliefs. We all have limiting beliefs. Even the most confident, the most successful people can struggle with negative self-talk at any time. Even after they've reached a level of success that most would envy, they can still have limiting beliefs. It's all about knowing how to move past them. So it's hard to, stop negative thoughts when you've been thinking them for a long time. Like I said, anything that we've had ingrained in us since childhood, that is generally something that we're holding on to. And the longer they go on, the more they become ingrained in your brain. But once you recognize those beliefs and the fact that they're keeping you from being the best version of yourself, it's so important to rewrite your script and change how you think about yourself and how you think about your life. So if you think, why do limiting beliefs need to be released? Okay. When you release your limiting beliefs, you can create a new mindset that supports you in living the life you want and allows you to move forward confidently. The good news is that limiting beliefs aren't permanent and you can release them. You'll just need to change these thoughts, both cognitively and behaviorally. And when you change your thinking, then it's easier to, so much easier to change your behavior. So I want you to consider what your beliefs are costing you. Ask yourself, are you unable to believe in yourself? Trust yourself? Feel good about yourself? Do you have a hard time dreaming big or believing that you deserve good things to happen? These are some of the things that I personally experienced. And I know that they cost me a lot. It cost me the ability to reach my goals, to finish things that I started. Limiting beliefs have a way of making you feel like you are somehow incapable which can almost paralyze you from moving forward towards your goals. Despite how badly you want it to happen, you almost just stop moving, stop going, because again, we talked about those excuses a few slides back. You make those excuses based on what you've always believed. So what are your limiting beliefs costing you? What are they keeping you away from? And I want you to think about this. Is it worth it? So I want you to think back to the limiting belief that you identified. Think about how that limiting belief currently impacts your life. For example, let's go back to the if I make money, I'll lose it belief, right? Maybe it currently impacts your life in a few ways. Like, are you afraid to raise your rates? If you're a business owner, are you afraid to raise your rates because you don't want to lose clients? And therefore you feel overwhelmed and burnt out most of the time? Then take it a step further. How is feeling overwhelmed and burnt out most of the time impacting your life? Maybe it's costing you money because you literally feel too overwhelmed to take on more clients. Or maybe it's affecting your relationships because you're always canceling on your friends last minute or yelling at your kids or your partner. Maybe you're afraid to say yes to new opportunities, even ones you'd love to say yes to, because you don't believe you'll have the energy to follow through. And it makes you feel like you're not growing in your job or in your career or your business, for that matter. I want you to peel back all the layers here so that you can truly begin to understand the impact of your beliefs. And once you understand it, you can dismantle it so that you can begin to move forward. Continue thinking of the limiting beliefs you identified, and I want you to take a moment to acknowledge that it is indeed a belief, not truth, and therefore it is possible to shift it and change it. And now this shift will not happen overnight, believe me. But the first step is acknowledging the belief and trusting that with the other exercise that I'll be sharing, you can shift your thinking. And as your mind shifts, you'll feel more confident, which leads you to taking action. You will believe that your business can grow, your relationships can improve, and you can buy your ultimate dream toy. So before we move forward, here's a word of caution. When you are thinking through your limiting beliefs, please be gentle with yourself. You might feel some sadness or even despair. Sometimes people feel like it's a punch in the gut to really understand their limiting beliefs and the harm they're doing in their lives or they have done in their lives. I know I personally did. As someone who used to let bad news drag her down for the entire day or sometimes even a few days, I'm here to say it's acceptable to acknowledge these feelings, but to remember that you're turning it around. Acknowledge the facts, then get excited that these beliefs can be turned around. So the first step to changing your limiting beliefs, once you've identified them, is simply being willing to change them. The fact that you are here in this training tells me that you are ready for a change in your life. You want to stop stopping your success. So remember, change isn't easy. It takes courage and it won't happen overnight. Like I said, you've likely had many of these beliefs ingrained in you since a child. So we can't expect to undo what's been done over decades of time. Can't expect that to be undone quickly. So be patient with yourself and give yourself grace. And then consider, what if I'm wrong? Limiting beliefs are so ingrained in our brains that it's easy to believe they are true. But what if they're not? Have you ever considered that the things that you believe that you've been holding on to forever are just lies instead of the truth? I often wonder why it's so easy for us as humans to believe negative thoughts so easily when we haven't tried to prove it, tried to prove if they're actually true. So again, I want you to consider this question for the limiting belief that you've identified. What if I'm wrong? For example, do you believe that you'll lose money as fast as you earn it? What if you're wrong? You might discover that you're an incredible saver simply because you don't want this limiting belief to ever become true. You may find the motivation to hire a CPA or a bookkeeper to help you understand your taxes and how much cash you really need to earn each month so you can pay your expenses. Think of other possibilities that can happen if you choose not to believe this limiting belief. It's such a simple question, and yet it can open your eyes to a new world of possibilities. If you believe you need to look a certain way before you can date anyone, or what if you're wrong? Whether you believe you're too tall or too short, too heavy, too thin, you will never know if your next partner is out there looking for you unless you get out into the dating world too. So consider that same limiting belief that you've been working on, and ask yourself, am I willing to see things differently? If the answer is yes, and if you're here, it likely will be, then you're on the right track. If you feel resistant somehow to changing this belief, that's okay. Some beliefs take more time than others for us to be willing to address them. So let's jump into it. 6 R's to ridding limiting beliefs. Like I said before, everyone is capable of changing their lives for the better by ridding their limiting beliefs. To do so, however, requires a process of self-reflection and transformation. The 6 R's to ridding limiting beliefs is a process that will help you overcome limiting beliefs and create a life that you truly love if you willingly take the steps to recognize, release, reframe, reclaim, reshape, and receive. So first, recognizing your limiting beliefs. That first step in overcoming a limiting belief is absolutely to recognize it exists, which can be difficult because they are often ingrained, like I said before, into our subconscious. But you need to clarify the negative thoughts and beliefs and perceptions that have held you back. And you can start by writing down your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about a particular situation or experience. That usually gets you going. Then you need to release the negative emotions associated with this belief. And you can release the negative emotions associated with the limiting belief by writing down all the feelings that come up when you think about it. This process can help you identify what's bothering you and makes you feel bad about yourself. Once you have determined how this belief impacts your emotional state and self-esteem, try to let go of the negative emotions by focusing on positive thoughts instead. The more you focus on positive thoughts surrounding this belief, the less the negative emotions will arise. Then you want to reframe your thoughts. This step is all about changing your mindset. You can reframe your thoughts by asking yourself questions such as, what is the opposite of what I believe, which is the limiting belief? What evidence do I have that supports this? How does this belief impact my life and my goals? Instead of focusing on the negative aspects of your limiting beliefs, reframe your thoughts and focus on how you would like things to be instead. So take a moment and consider whether you have any evidence to support this belief that you've been thinking of and how this belief impacts your life and goals. And then I want you to imagine how you would like things to be instead. Now, reclaim control of your thoughts, beliefs, and life by taking action. You are in the driver's seat of your life, and you have complete control of what does or does not happen. You have the power to create new beliefs, change your thoughts and actions, and take steps toward your goals. You will reclaim control of your life when you take action and make positive changes. It's time to take control back from those beliefs that have controlled you for so long. Starting today, commit to being in control of your thoughts. Even when a negative thought slips in, be prepared to move it along by remembering that that belief has to go because it no longer serves you. Now, I will say this gets easier because this is something that I experience frequently. When a negative thought slips into my mind, I'm like, oh no, nope, stop, nope. So it is possible to actually take control and reclaim those thoughts. And then you want to reshape your reality by creating new, empowering truths that support you and align with who you want to be. This step sits at the core of the process of ridding limiting beliefs. Creating new, empowering truths will allow you to free yourself from the false beliefs that have held you back and enable you to move forward with confidence and certainty. By reshaping your reality and creating new, empowering truths, you will begin to see yourself differently and empowered to step into the life that you were meant to live. So for example, in the previous example used, if I make money, I'll lose it. A way I would want to reframe that thought is to say something like, I am thankful for my strong and healthy relationship with money. You see the difference? And now, step 6, receive all the good that comes your way by embracing your new truths. Although each step in this process is crucial for ridding limiting beliefs, this step deserves special attention. Because when you get rid of your limiting beliefs and fully accept yourself, it becomes easier to let go of unnecessary suffering and feel worthy and deserving of all the good that's coming your way. This step is like opening a floodgate that allows positive energy to flow into your life, creating even more opportunities for prosperity, happiness, and success. The receiving can be a bit difficult, especially if you have held limiting beliefs around your self-worth, like I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or I don't deserve good things. So be patient with yourself as you go through the process and remain open and willing to receive. I can assure you that you will be glad that you did, especially when good things begin to come and you feel how good it feels to receive them. And now the final step is to repeat. Repeat these steps for each limiting belief that you identify. Now, I wish I could tell you that once you overcome all the limiting beliefs, you discover that you won't have it anymore, but I can't. You may develop new limiting beliefs at some point based off new experiences. The great thing now is that you know what they are and you are equipped with the tools you need to address them. Getting rid of your limiting beliefs will be an ongoing journey. Personal development has never had an end point. And even after doing this work, you may find, again, new limiting beliefs showing themselves. But just remember that they aren't true and you know what to do to work through them. So this process will take time, but remember, you will be addressing and unpacking thoughts and beliefs that you've held for a long time. So it won't be a quick fix, but it is possible to be done. So my goal for you as a result of this training is that you commit to discovering your limiting beliefs in order to change how you think about yourself so that you can begin to see yourself as the amazing and powerful person that you were created to be. You hold the power to make change in your life. You have the power to stop stopping your success. So, are you ready? If you're ready to go all in and break free from the negative thoughts that hold you back from living a life you desire, I invite you to grab a copy of my new book, Stop Stopping Your Success, which is a guided journal to break free from the negative thoughts holding you back from your dreams. In this book, you will work through a series of journaling activities, similar to some of the ones we talked through, designed to help you recognize, reshape, and release limiting beliefs and get rid of the negative thoughts and beliefs keeping you from reaching your full potential. You will use the 6 R's to ridding limiting beliefs process to recognize your limiting beliefs, release negative emotions, reframe and reclaim control of your thoughts, reshape your reality, and receive the good resulting from your new truths. Stop Stopping Your Success is available on Barnes & Noble, and Amazon.com. And you can also order directly from my website to get your autographed copy from me. And you can do that at www.stopstoppingyoursuccess.com. The fact that you took the time to participate in this training tells me that you are ready and willing to change the way you look at your life. You are ready for a new perspective, and you are ready to take control of your future. You have taken the first step, and now you have the tools and knowledge that you need to start changing the way that you look at yourself and your life. Now it's time to put these tools into practice and start using them immediately so you can begin to see results. You have learned how to identify your limiting beliefs and how to overcome them. If you'd like to learn more about whether your thoughts and beliefs are affecting your success, take the quiz. Go to quiz.stopstoppingyoursuccess.com to take the quiz to learn whether your thoughts and beliefs are truly keeping you from success. Thank you so very much for attending this training. My name is Harriet Harris. I am a business coach, the Limitless Business Coach, and I help ambitious women to remove internal roadblocks and to remove limiting beliefs so that they can finally create the life and business that they desire. Your future is filled with unlimited possibilities and amazing opportunities, and I want you to take advantage of them. I wish you all the best on your journey, and remember that you are a powerful, capable human being, and you can do anything that your heart desires. If you feel certain that something is holding you back from achieving what you desire in life, go to my website and check out all the available resources and schedule a complimentary What's Stopping Your Success chat. And you can do that at www.harrietmharris.com/link-in-bio, or reach out via email at contact@harrietmharris.com. Thank you.
When you finally go back to learn from the past to move forward, things will make complete sense and other things fall into place. This has happened in my life and in my work. Do you remember an important event that occurred when you were younger that stuck with you? When I was in upper elementary school, a few events happened to me that stayed with me my whole life. In Chattanooga, we grew up in an all-Black world and went to good segregated schools. In the 4th grade, a small group of us were taught French and filmed on a television stage for a few months. That was a strange sensation. The teacher was white. That same year, a potentially violent event happened in my elementary school. A group of white men stormed into my school and were looking for me. I don't know if the television program and that event were connected or not. I was pulled out of my 4th grade class by the principal, who took me to Mrs. Higginbotham's 5th grade classroom. She was a tall, buxom lady with a booming voice. They placed me under her desk. She continued teaching and stared at the men as they walked by, and they did not see me. I remember seeing their feet, though, and hearing them say they were there to lynch me. I was placed on another bus to meet my parents. I asked my daddy about this right before he passed, since my sisters didn't believe it when I told them that as adults. He said that was a true story. In the 5th grade, we learned African American history the entire year. They were probably getting us equipped for school desegregation. My caring and knowledgeable and quick thinking civil rights activist parents and my school gave me the love, support, and caring needed to protect me and laid the foundation for later success, but they also opened my world. These events happened when I was in middle childhood. I'm focusing on helping parents and families of that age group, along with children ages 11 to 14 and early adolescence. The ages of 9 through 14 are important ages that contain similarities. If you have children or relatives in that age range, you know what I'm talking about. Too grown and childish at the same time. These events were connected to later events in my life, and I used them as starting points for my research to become a better professional and parent to my daughter and 4 sons. Your connections help you to become who you are today, especially if you're comfortable with what you're doing with your children. As happened with me, each of us has had good and bad experiences that later connected to other events in life. Your parents and other loved ones in your families helped you to grow and develop and taught and loved you as your first teachers. They help you become who you are today, or you may have had to work against what they taught you to become who you are, according to your life circumstances. Many of us don't think about it, but parents and families are not just personal entities who show love and caring to their own children as they grow and develop. They are also important to our communities and nation. Families are the smallest social unit and institution in society. Just as our schools and religious institutions help us meet societal needs, families do too. Families are important to the functioning of our communities and our nation, and they lay the foundation for success that helps support children so they can become productive members of society when they become adults. And a lot of us forget that in our country. So much has happened over the last 3 years that point to our nation's and our families' weaknesses and strengths in some ways. We take so much for granted. But the pandemics, the new viral pandemic, and the long-standing social pandemics put our weaknesses and strengths right in our faces. Healing and learning are needed. It's time to be serious during this period of rapid changes, extreme weather, and instant information that make the world smaller. Updated 21st century skills are needed today to prepare our children for the world they will inherit. This is going to be our legacy to them. And as you know, we're leaving a lot of major problems with our children. We need to be open to learning more while using updated skills when engaging with each other. Learning in the past was simpler and easier to function in society, since literacy was clear-cut and included the 3 R's of reading, writing, and arithmetic. Today, being literate requires a shift in deeper thinking and actions on more levels. Parents need to model this shift to their children so children can learn them, especially since some schools don't teach them equally to all children. Parents need the courage and commitment to show positive attitudes. They need to be willing to learn new facts and concepts and learn how to do some new things that will assist their children in becoming prepared for their world. Nothing is simple, but it makes sense for today, and other things will fall into place. Updated 21st century skills include thinking critically, clear communication and collaboration skills across cultures, creativity, which demands play and innovation, and also included are attitude changes of continuous learning, hope, positivity, relationship building, and planning for the unexpected. We also need an understanding that the earth and its climate must be protected since it gives us life. Everything is connected, and we need to have faith that things will work out. Wow, that's a lot in a 12-minute talk about success. But I need to give that as a prelude to change so that we can start embracing that change. And I can send you a list if you'd like. How do parents begin to deal with those things? First, they got to start looking at themselves, something we feel that other people should do sometimes, or our children should do. What are you about? Are you trying to make life look and feel normal, or are you searching for something better? Both parents should look at themselves and their relationship. Do you work together or against each other? Your children are learning skills from you. My former husband and I had to do this self and couple work, so I know what you're going through. When you do, your children will notice what you're modeling, and they will possibly try to do the same. Do the research that needs to happen, or more easily, prepare our children for their world as a guide. After both parents make some changes, they can be ready for that next step, which is the first family meeting. In the family meeting, all children in the mix and who can talk are brought together at a meeting setting. You know, it's just like what you do when you go to a meeting yourself. And sometimes your children have gone with you to meetings. But they're going to have a voice, just as the adults have a voice. You're changing the culture of your family, so this type of change is a good starting point. An important note, no technology is allowed during these changes. Look at people, communicate with them, pay attention to each other, not to your phone or whatever. So in a way, you're going back while moving forward, like Sankofa, pulling those wise things from the past. Doing something different is what you need to prepare children for success in the future world they will inherit. How many of you are up to the challenge? With your second or third family meeting, you may want to view a video together. As a family, look at the world through the same lens, then discuss what was seen. The video I'm referring to is A Future for Us by Sir Ken Robinson. It's only 15 minutes long, so it's not too long. Look for it on YouTube. This video presents a futures orientation, which is the practice of looking ahead and accepting that the future of all of us is unwritten. We have to be open to change and continually learn what else needs to happen. After watching and talking about the video, children may be inspired to try new projects at school using new knowledge, while parents may be motivated to start new family projects directly related to information in the video. People with a futures orientation are looking at the fact that you can write your own history. It's not written for you. You know, the past is past. We learned a lot from it, but the future is unknown. Everything is interconnected and interdependent, and we must have faith that things will work out if we make fruitful connections and embrace change. Those connections help us to heal from the past 3 years and include family wellness and well-being that will grow. You know, we hear a lot in the news about mental health of our children, and this is what they need. Your children's academic achievement will improve, and your children's behavior will also. Parents may find that using a futures orientation means that their job or career situations will change for better financial security for their families. Their spiritual growth may also change with this boost in faith. But change at home means that their schools need to change too. Share the video with your PTA and school and community-based parent organizations. Advocate together with them for better schools that use the futures orientation to continue the work of preparing more children for success in the future world they'll inherit. This is deep work, but changes begin at home and be the start to doing something a lot bigger. Learn more about that. Take time today to begin the long process, making it an adventure for both parents and children. If you're close to other families, join together for the journey. You'll have support and accountability partners, and your children will be able to build strong interactions or in-person ties with friendship with family members. As I close, know that you can be the change your children need to see this year and in the future. Speak about those needed changes. Act on them, knowing that when unspoken connections are brought to light, we can then embrace change. This is the SOULS framework used in schooling solutions, books, and consultations. Contact Dr. Mapp to learn more.
It has been an amazing first day of SuccessFest 2023. I hope you all have taken away something valuable and will carry it with you into tomorrow. Remember, success doesn't happen overnight. It takes focus, dedication, and hard work and your desired goals. Thank you for joining us today, and let's make sure to take full advantage of the opportunities that this event has provided. See you all tomorrow, same success place, same success time. Don't forget, say it, believe it, and do it. Good night, and have a great rest of your day. It's been my pleasure to serve as your host today, and I am Dr. Stephanie Wall, the Tower of Power. Woo! Fire! Boom, 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 boom.